Hi, this is Barney Cargill coming to you from Travis Air Force Base, where we're in quarantine. This is Wednesday, March the 18th, and I understand everything out there is really, the world is kind of different right now. I just got off the phone with somebody just a minute ago that's in our hometown of Santa Rosa, California, and they said that the vibe is tense. And so I know I've said this before, but this is time for us as believers to model the peace of God and the victory that we have in Jesus Christ. And I want to talk about that victory this morning. You know, every year when the Super Bowl is played, the winning team gets a Super Bowl ring. And it doesn't make any difference whether you're the MVP of the team or you just sat on the bench all year. If you are part of the winning team, you get the ring. And the same is true for all of us as God's children. Because Jesus won the battle, we get to share in his victory. And that's a really big deal. I was just reading this morning the book of Revelation. I want to share some thoughts from there. And I don't freak out, because I'm not going to look at Revelation like a crystal ball. I don't care what your theology is or what your view of end times is or anything like that, because there's a beautiful big picture message in the book of Revelation, and that is Jesus won. And because he won, we share in his victory. And Jesus appears to John. They were going through some tough times. The church was being persecuted heavily. John was in exile on the island of Patmos, and Jesus appears to him in this magnificent form, and he says this: don't yield to fear. Did you hear that? He didn't say don't feel fear. He said don't yield to fear. And here's the reason, I am the beginning and the end, the living one. I was dead, but now look, I am alive forever and ever, and I hold the keys. In other words, I control the keys that unlock death and the unseen world. What Jesus is saying is, look, I won, and because I won, you're on the winning team, and that means you have victory too. It doesn't matter how the world looks around us. It doesn't matter if you're in exile. It doesn't matter if you're being persecuted. It doesn't matter if you're being quarantined for coronavirus. It doesn't matter, because you've already won the battle. In fact, in chapter 22 of the Revelation, it ends this way by saying that they, God's people, we shall reign with him forever and ever. From all eternity upon eternities is what that actually says. Jesus can do anything, and he is everything, all in all. Years ago, there was a survey. A group of people went around in England, and they were surveying people, and they asked them this question. They said, do you believe in a God who changes the course of history, who intervenes in human affairs, and who performs miracles? And one guy they asked, he said, no, I don't believe in that God. I believe in the ordinary God. Now, he probably thought he was being really brilliant, but I got to tell you, there ain't no such thing. There is nothing ordinary about God. Everything is extraordinary. In fact, in Ephesians chapter 1, the Apostle Paul writes this. He says that God can do exceedingly abundantly beyond anything we imagine. Now, think about that. Let your mind run wild. Just daydream about anything that you could possibly conceive that God could do. And Paul doesn't just say God can do more than that. He doesn't just say God can do a lot more than that. He says God can do exceedingly, abundantly, beyond all that we could ever imagine God could do. And it's almost in the Greek like, these are words like little kids use, like humongous and, whatever other words they might use. That's what he says about Jesus. So that's what we need to do. Whatever you're feeling today, whatever you're thinking today, whatever situations God's got you in today, just realize God's in the middle of it. I don't know what God's doing in this. You have all kinds of different ideas about, end times and all this kind of stuff. I'm not even going to go there. But I do know this: God's in the middle of it. And he is bringing something amazing out of all of this. We don't have to freak out about the economy. We don't have to freak out about, who's got it, who doesn't have it, and all this kind of stuff, what it's going to do. Oh, no. All we need to do is just grab hold of the victory that we have in Jesus Christ and cling to that. Because we share in his victory as well. God can do exceeding abundantly beyond anything we can imagine. We're praying for you guys. Please keep praying for us. And God's doing great stuff.